Sameet Chauhan now of Angel Broking joins in. Sameet, on the index, surprisingly, we've been far more resilient as compared to most of our Asian peers, at least this morning. Post-Europe opening at 11:30, I'm assuming the markets may turn a little more volatile. What direction would you bet on, especially given that it is expiry tomorrow? Do you think the index will try to push higher?
See, probably it's the expiry factor that is playing out. 10,500 for this expiry seems to be very strong support. If you look at the put options, 10,500 seems to have highest open interest concentration. So that seems to be very strong support, and that's the reason after opening with a decent downside gap, we are seeing some kind of range bound action and some recovery in mid cap counters. So we believe that at least for next couple of days we would see some kind of consolidation, wherein on the lower side you would see support coming in somewhere around 10,520, 10,500, and at the same time higher side, if you see 10,620, 10,660 would act as a very strong resistance. But if we have to take slightly broader view, then we would expect Nifty to face some kind of resistance around 10,660, 10,700. So according to us now, 10,720 would act as a very strong resistance. Any decent recovery from current level would be a shorting opportunity.
What about Bank Nifty? There's been long unwinding seen on Bank Nifty. The PSU banking index was down 3%. There is some amount of a pullback this morning with Bank Nifty almost as the day's high point. Is there an opportunity to go short here at 26,100 in Bank Nifty?
See, yesterday we saw Nifty correcting. It was mainly on the back of fresh short built-up. But as far as Bank Nifty is concerned, yesterday's correction was mainly on the back of long unwinding. So if we look at it from a slightly broader view now, 26,500, 26,600 would act as a very strong resistance. If we have to take any bet on the index, we would go on the short side, but not at current level. We would rather let the index give a decent bounce back, probably toward 26,300, 350. That will make a good risk to reward ratio. So around those level one can go short. In that case, you can keep a stop loss somewhere around 26,600 with a positional perspective, and we would expect retesting of recent lows that are around 25,700, 25,600.
Right, Sameet, stay with us. We've got the management of Thomas Cook. Sameet, what are you doing with some of those IT names? Mid-cap IT has been going from positive territory to negative territory. Very, very wild swings currently underway. But in terms of a stock pick, how do counters like Tata Elxsi, KPIT, NIIT Tech look? Because the open interest addition is looking very healthy in some of those names.
Yes, but we would now expect some kind of consolidation in this mid-cap names. As far as Tata Elxsi is concerned, the stock was trading somewhere around 1250 half an hour back, and again it has come off a bit from its highs. So 1250, 1255 seems to be a very strong resistance on a closing basis. So if the stock manages to surpass those levels, then yes, you could see extension of this rally. But as of now, we are of the opinion that all these mid-cap IT names are likely to consolidate. They have already given a sharp run in the recent past. So some kind of time as well as price wise consolidation is quite due. So we would expect consolidation. Rather, we would focus on large cap names. Infosys is the one stock that we have been closely tracking since last couple of days. Recently the stock managed to confirm its breakout beyond the resistance of 1200. We saw decent move, and again in last 3 days the stock has come off a bit. But we believe that it would just be a pullback, and 1200, 1205 would act as a very strong support. So we would rather go long in Infosys. It gives a very low risk trade at current level. 1197 one can keep as a stop loss, and we would expect a decent move towards 1252.
Right, that's the word coming in some of those IT names. Sameet, moving on from there, it's been a good run for counters like M&M, case in point. We'll see those auto numbers trickling in as early as tomorrow. On the auto pack, any preferences, any trading opportunity? Maybe not for today or tomorrow, but for the next series?
No, as of now, we are seeing some kind of divergence within the automobile space. M&M is the one stock that has been outperforming the entire basket. We could see the stock hitting fresh highs in the morning itself. But now there is some kind of consolidation that is on cards as far as on M&M is concerned. So we believe that at least for a time being we would see some kind of consolidation in the entire automobile space. Tata Motor has already corrected quite sharply. So now 290, 285 seems to be a very strong support. It's a multi-year support lows as well. So we would expect some kind of consolidation in Tata Motors, and the stock is probably poised for a decent relief rally. So we would rather wait for a confirmation to happen. So as far as near-term outlook is concerned, as of now we are not taking any fresh trades in automobile space.
Right. Sumit, what is it that you like right now? Any stocks that you're recommending long or short calls on?
One stock is Infosys that we have already discussed. Apart from this, on the short side, Jubilant Food is the one stock that we are liking. Due to yesterday's correction, now one thing is sure, now the stock has already formed a recent top somewhere around 2750, and today also after a decent gap of opening, the stock has come off quite sharply from highs. So we would expect continuation of this corrective move. We expect Jubilant Food to slide toward 2420 in next probably 2 to 3 trading sessions. So one can use any minor bounce back to go short. Keep a stop loss now somewhere around 2605. Apart from this, we like Bata India. The stock has been consolidating, but today we are seeing a good positive traction in this counter. So the stock is clearly on the verge of a breakout. So one can go long in Bata India. Keep a stop loss somewhere around 768, and we would expect a good move towards 800, 805.
Right. Just moving on from those recommendations, what about Reliance Industries, Sumit? It's trading at the lower end of the band. Do you think it's giving signs of a pullback now, and hence at levels closer to 900, 910, this may be a good buy?
See, it is trading around its major supports, 200-day moving average, along with the rising trend line that coincides somewhere around 900, 905, and the stock has been making lows around these levels in last 4 or 5 days. But if we have to take any bet on the long side, we would rather wait for some kind of confirmation. 927 seems to be a very strong resistance in the near term. So if the stock manages to surpass this level, then we could see a good move toward 950, 955. But as of now, we don't want to take any fresh trade on Reliance because it is trading around its make or break level in the near term. So if the stock slides below 900 also, it could open up further downside. So as of now, we are seeing a range 927 on the higher side and 900, 902 on the low side.
What are you doing with OMCs and pharmaceutical names? Any opportunity here, you think? Because both those spaces are having a very down day.
See, as far as OMCs are concerned, they have already seen massive correction in the recent past, so some kind of breather relief rally is on cards. IOC is the one stock that we have been closely tracking. In last 3-4 days, the stock has already given a decent recovery, but it is now near its major resistance. 175 seems to be a very strong resistance, so we would expect consolidation now, wherein on the higher side 175 would act as a very strong resistance, and lower side 165, 160 seems to be a very strong support. As far as the pharmaceutical space is concerned, we have been quite vocal since last couple of weeks. The entire pharma space is probably in a process of bottoming out. So Sun Pharma, Lupin, these are our preferred pick, and that we have been closely tracking since last couple of weeks. As a disclosure, we have already recommended Sun Pharma around 480, 475, Lupin at low level. So we would expect continuation of this positive traction in this counter. As far as Lupin is concerned, it is poised for a decent move towards 830.
Thanks for that, Sumit. Good talking to you this morning. That's the view coming in the markets and stock-specific trades. Sumit, constructive on counters like Infosys and Bata, which he recommends could make good trading bets for now.